What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Ollie Reviews, and today we're going to jump into the live action One Piece Season 2. Yes, we're going to hop into the 8-episode season here on Netflix, and for the most part, it's great. It's great. You see a pup here. This is Luffy. Actually, his name is Luffy, the dog. So, yes, he does get the name from the pirate, and he is just as destructive and also destroying everything if you don't give him food. Or if you give him food, he will be on your side for like half a second before he calls the government to fall down again. But this is Luffy the dog, the corgi, and yes, please don't touch that. And yes, we are reviewing One Piece Season 2. So this season's great. It's a good season. Big fan of it. If you love anime, you're gonna love this. If you love the live action, you love like the manga, you're gonna love this. It's a different adaptation of the manga. It's not beat for beat. It's not step for step, especially when you get to Little Garden. And I'm gonna talk about that. And there's a few things when it comes to this season that I'm gonna look into, like for example, the perspective. You heading off? You leaving? The perspective of like certain characters, for example, Usopp when you get to Little Garden, but also the perspective of Captain Smoker. I always want to call him Chaser because 4Kids version always give me that. Captain Smoker in Logtown and so forth and so on. A little bit of Vivian, a little bit of Chopper here and there. But for the most part, the acting is great. The computer animation, the CGI at times, is kind of weird, not gonna lie. Once again, when we get to Little Garden, I'll break that down. But for the most part, acting is great. If you like season 1, you're gonna enjoy season 2. And I just want to go ahead and hop into a few things here from this season. So first and foremost, we'll talk about Logtown and them going here and going to that town. So from the perspective of Captain Smoker, because him watching this, like at first he hears about this pirate comes to town, like there's the death of Gold Roger. It's his day that he died. So it's like a celebratory situation for Gold Roger. There's a whole festival and whatnot. Okay, no big deal, which also allows Buggy the Clown to show up and kind of pretty much hide out. And Luffy, who wants to go see where the King of the Pirates died, he gets to go in there, and when he does, he bumps into Buggy the Clown, which he called him Bunny. But yeah, he remember Alvita, and Buggy the Clown, the actor that plays Buggy, amazing, phenomenal, great work from him. And he really, to me, is my favorite character of the series. Buggy the Clown after Mihawk is phenomenal. And they had a little splat. Captain Smoker sitting there watching this, and once that happens and Buggy the Clown pretty much wins this fight, in a sense, I'm doing win in quotation mark, Dragon interferes. And Smoker, like, okay, he got shot by lightning, but he thought he was gonna die, and he's laughing. This kid is dangerous, let's go get him. They get rid of Buggy the Clown, whatnot, and then they go after Luffy. And as they're going after Luffy, Captain Smoker beats Luffy. He captures him, and Dragon, as he does in the manga, shows up and frees Luffy pretty much. And Captain Smoker like, what the heck? Why is Dragon here? Which I'm going to cut a little bit of head here, because Garp does show up in this season, and he talked to Smoker and giving Smoker the breakdown. And Smoker's like, hey man, that's your son, that's your grandson, I don't care. I'm going after him. I'm going to get him because no pirate gets away from me. And he said, also Dragon showed up. Ain't that odd? And Garp is like, oh, Dragon showed up, hey? I didn't, wow, that's interesting. Weird, that's weird. And then, I'm gonna go ahead and give a manga spoiler here, because if you have read the manga and you're caught up to date, you could have found out that, like, Dragon's actually part of the Marines. He's been a part of the Marines before he became the head of the Revolutionary Army. He's been part of the Marines, and you're like, that means Captain Smoker knows who he is. He knows who Dragon is. And Garp dang sure knows who he is. That's his son. So, yeah, go figure. Also, Sabo's in here, which that was a very interesting Easter egg. And Bartholomew? So not Bartholomew, because that's Kuma. Bartholomew, I think he pronounced his name. he's the fanboy guy for Luffy that you see in Dressrosa. Well, he apparently is here in Log Town during the time of this event. This is how he gets to see who Luffy is and kind of gets inspired by Luffy to become a pirate because Luffy saves his life. Well, that happens in here. So you meet Bartholomew. I feel like I'm saying his name completely wrong, and I'm sorry. I just don't care about the character, and he's not worth my time bringing him up. Like, you go watch Dressrosa. You'll get that. You want to watch the anime or go read Dressrosa, and you get all about Bartholomew. Keep killing that dude's name. Because Bartholomew I can say. Bartholomew Kuma, I can say that one. But I can't say Bartholomew. Okay. Anyway, so Captain Chaser, I'm going to keep calling Chaser freaking 4Kids. Captain Smoker, he pretty much gets out. And he's like, yeah, sure. Like, I got to go capture him. Tashigi, here we go. And Tashigi's like, I'm going to go after him too. I'm going after Zoro. Because Zoro, he is lied to me. He's a pirate and he has all the swords, the powerful swords I want. I need to take them because they're in the hands of evil. So like, all right, cool. They go do their thing. Then we finally get to, not Whiskey Peak. We do get to Whiskey Peak. But before we get there, get to the lighthouse where Laboon is at. And I think this version is better than the manga. Like, cause in the manga, Luffy actually go toe to toe with Laboon. Like, he's fighting Laboon and like throwing hands with him. Well, he does a little bit of throwing hands, but Laboon like shakes him off because he's a freaking whale. But they established the Lombard pirates in this season, and they established Brook early on. So therefore, you get Brook's backstory with Laboon, which is very like tied together and interwoven with each other. And when Laboon heard the song, Brinks is Brew. When he hears the song Brinks is Brew, he's like, oh, Laboon loves that song, and Luffy knows Laboon loves that song because the pirate, the Crocus, who is the ship doctor for the Gold Roger pirates, he pretty much tells like, hey, this is a song they sing all the time. Laboon loves the song, and Luffy, after hearing it in season 1, because they established it that it's a very phenomenal pirate song. People love singing. Not a pirate song, just a song that people love singing, popular in this One Piece universe. Laboon hears Luffy sings it, and he decides like, you know what? I'm not gonna be bad anymore. You're right. I'm going to let your pirate crew out because Laboon does eat the crew. He eats the crew just like he does in the manga. He eats them. He spits them back out. But inside the stomach of Laboon, you do meet Vivi and Mr. 9, or I guess say Miss Wednesday and Mr. 9, which Luffy's like, they're not bad people, and I trust them, so I'm gonna let them be on the ship. Sure, Luffy. And also you learn about the Grand Line is very different, and it's different from other parts of the world. Like, the seasons change at any time. If you don't have a log post, you're going to get lost because regular compass doesn't work in the Grand Line. So Nami learns about that. Miss Wednesday and Mr. 9 joins the crew for a moment, and then we tied into Baroque Works because Baroque Works find out that Zoro, who is now a pirate, is the one who killed Mr. 7, and they're like, oh, this guy that killed one of our operatives, we need to take him out. So Zoro's like, yeah, okay. So Baroque Works is after Zoro. Cool beans. So it keeps the story all tied together, so it was like not just a random incident, but also when you get to Whiskey Peak, which loves pirates, they try to take out the Straw Hat Pirates. And this is where you get the perspective of Vivi. Because Vivi, who's like, I'm trying to figure out who Baroque Works is, take him down. She is learning that like, oh, Mr. Zero knows who I am. I know who he is, and he's trying to stop me. So he sends Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine's Day after me. Mr. 5 can use it's the bomb fruit or something like that, but he can make boogie bombs. He uses boogers to make explosives. And Miss Valentine's Day can change her weight at any time from a ton to light as a feather, and pretty much she crushes you. She will jump on you and crush you. Yes, that is a thing. And back to these two. So they show up at Whiskey Peak. Now, Whiskey Peak, they try to get the Straw Hat Pirates drunk and pass out. Zoro doesn't fall for it. Usopp and Sanji actually falls for a trap where two twins wanted to take them into another room, and they end up trying to assassinate them because Sanji's incompetent and he doesn't fight women, and Usopp's a scaredy cat. They get captured. But Zoro ended up fighting 100 different people in this scene, in this season, in this episode, and to get to Whiskey Peak. That does happen. He does take out 100 people. It's pretty cool. Cause they like go from time to time. People. He fight Miss Monday. He fight Mr. 9. Beats him. Gets 100. And he counts them as he's going. He's like number 78, 72, 75, 80, 92. Like, and he gets 100 people knocked out. On the flip side, Mr. 8, Mr. Igaram, he does reveal like, hey, Vivi, we need to get you home. Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine, they know who we are, and they get the Straw Hat Pirates in the group, and they pretty much gotta get Vivi home and escape. Mr. Ingram sacrifices himself, and he pretty much explodes. Vivi obviously is shocked. She is distraught. She's like, oh my God, that's my mentor, my father's ambassador. He now is killed before my eyes. What is going on here? And the Straw Hat crew like, oh, we gotta get you home, so let's go. So they go to, well, before they get to Little Garden, they get interrupted by Miss Sunday, Nico Robin. She shows up and she's like, hey, this is the Straw Hat crew. Okay, cool, fun, nice. Well, I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm gonna kind of give y'all a route to Alabasta before you try and get her. Or you don't go to Alabasta and you go on your own way and hopefully you get there in time. Luffy's like, bump that, we're not doing that. So he's biting my pants. Can you not bite my pants, bite my phone? I appreciate it. He crushes the log campus to get them to Alabasta, and they go on their own journey, which they get to the island of Little Garden, which for me, I was looking forward to Little Garden because that's something that I could not fathom when they did this. Like, how they gonna do Little Garden? I was like curious about 3 things: Laboon, Little Garden, and Chopper. And for the most part, the CGI worked when he got to Little Garden. They did a pretty dang good job with the giants. And when I say the giants, they did a pretty dang good job. They made you look like Brogy and Dory were huge. And they gave them a little more character and little, well, they're already goofy and had characters in the manga, but they also expanded upon it. But there's a scene though I thought was powerful, because in the manga, and I understand it's short timing, Vivi doesn't really got time to really sit with the fact that she lost Igaram. Like, she doesn't really sit with it. She thinks Igaram is dead, and she doesn't get to sit with it and soak on it. And in the anime, or not anime, but the live action, they do a Viking's death for, he's getting down, and he might mess with his bone here, so you might hear noise in the background. But they give a Viking's death to Igaram. I thought was pretty cool and very touching, and Dory and Vivi and Luffy had a moment to experience like what death is, and have a moment to experience like, okay, this is something that, you know, it's happened, it's reality, and we can deal with this, and we gotta learn and grow from it and keep the mission alive, which I thought was very cool. And then you get, of course, the fight between Dory and Brogy, the 100-year fight between the 2 giants, the former captains of the giant pirates. And instead of Dory going down in the live action, Brogy goes down. And this for me where I'm like, all right, they changed it up. Let's see what happens. And the reason for the change up was because Usopp learns about himself and learn about his journey and learn about becoming a brave warrior to see right here. And when Brogy goes down, Mr. 3 and Miss April's Fool's Day or Miss Golden Week and Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine's Day are the ones who comes in and they pretty much tamper with this legendary fight and legendary bout. Dory think he won, but he's sad because he's like, oh, he was poisoned. He was like, this is not how I want to win. And Brogy's currently knocked out. Like, he wakes up later on in the episode like, you think a little bit of explosion is going to take me out? Bro, get over it. And on top of that, the knives and swords are so dull that like they don't cut anymore. So they just bat into each other until they bruise. Like, that's pretty much it. So Brogy comes to Zoro, Nami, Vivi, they get captured. They get captured by Miss Golden Week or Miss April Fool's Day and Mr. 3. Miss Golden Week, the reason I switched back her name because she has April Fool's Day, I believe, in the 4Kids version, and Miss Golden Week in the manga. But Miss Golden Week, she can change your emotions and mood by throwing paint on your face. And depending on what color she gives you, you are sad, happy, envy, whatever the case may be. So you get trapped or depressed, so you get trapped and don't care about anything. Luffy gets caught in this a few times as well, and Luffy actually gets out of it because he falls into the water and Usopp helps him out. But before Usopp can help him out, he does run back and see that Brogy is alive, and Brogy's like, yo, I'm alive. And Usopp's like, how? He's like, that's not gonna take me. I'm a brave warrior to see. But Usopp tells him like he's scared, and Brogy's like, it's good to be scared. You should be scared. He's like, matter of fact, I wouldn't trust a man with my life who isn't scared in battle. Like, we are scared. You never know what can happen, and that's a mark of a true warrior. And Usopp has his lesson that he learns at Water 7. He has it here in this season, and to me, it has become like, all right, what's going to be the next arc for him? If his arc is getting laid out right here, are we getting Water 7 in the future? Are we getting Sniper King in the future? Like, is that happening? Because if he's learning that he needs to be brave and he can be scared but be brave at the same time, then that happens right here, right now, and that's going to be a game changer for the future. So I was like really thrown off by that, but I was like, all right, I'm rolling with it. It's still good work, still good acting, still good storytelling, still good plot points and action pieces, all that stuff. But it was just some of the pieces of the story here that threw me off. Of course, you have Zoro with the flaming sword. They finally defeat Mr. 3 and Mr. 5 and Miss Golden Week and Miss Valentine's Day. They defeat them. The fight between Luffy and Mr. 3, I really wanted to be the same as the manga when it came to the Wax house, or the Wax 4s, or design where Mr. 3 pretty much makes a bunch of wax clones of himself, and Luffy just finds out which one he is by instinct and knock him out, because Mr. 3 is a pompous guy. By the way, Mr. 3 is played by Polka Dot Man and the guy from Ant-Man. I believe he's Polka Dot Man in the Suicide Squad, but he plays the dude who has a mama complex, like that guy. I'm a superhero! That's who he plays, which I was like, okay, we got like an actual well-known actor in this series for this. Like, okay, cool. And by the way, the voice of Chopper, when we get to Chopper, is played by the girl who's in Superman, the new Superman movie, which, okay, she's the blonde chick that works at the Daily Bugle. She's like a bigger role in this, where she's playing Chopper. But before we get to there, they defeat Mr. 3, Mr. 5, Miss Valentine's Day, and also Miss Valentine's Day has a very bad line, which this show has a bunch of quips. She's like, that nice stick, hope it's fragile, or something like that. And she kicked Nami's pole in half, and I was just like,
Cute stick seems a bit fragile.
Yeah, and then of course when they're fighting her, Nami and Vivi goes, this is for Igaram. I'm like, that's basic writing, okay, cool. But they do make some jokes, like they're on a hot island for a little garden, and Mr. 5 is wearing a coat with no shirt and like dad shorts, or dad shorts, or coochie daddy shorts. Hoochie daddy shorts. And just funny saying that word. But he's wearing these like high waisted, like high thigh highs. There you go, thigh high shorts, sun's out, thighs out shorts. And he's complaining about how hot it is, and Miss Valentine complained about how hot it is, and she's like, why don't you take off your coat? And he's like, I can't, it cramps my style.
There's many bullets here.
You do know you can take your coat off.
No way. It's part of my look.
And for me, I was like, luckily they're pointing fun at it. They know it's fun, they know it's goofy, they know it's over the top, especially when it comes to Little Garden. You're fighting dinosaurs and riding dinosaurs. Like, you can't be that serious with One Piece. So I'm glad that they are being goofy with it and not taking it so seriously. But it became campy at a point where I was like, yeah. Especially the scene where Sanji is fighting the Otter and the Vulture, Miss Friday, and I think Mr. 11, no, not Mr. 11, Mr. 11, no, Mr. 13, the Unluckies, yes, Mr. 13 and Miss Friday. And he's fighting the Vulture, he's fighting the Otter, and doing the Spider-Man scene, amazing Spider-Man scene where Stan Lee's in the library and Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man, is fighting the Lizard in the library. They're doing the same thing with Mr. Zero's on the phone, and he's sitting there looking like, okay. And you get this whole wacky background going on. It's a cool fight scene. It's fun. It's fun here. This is the fun part of the season. So they finally get out. They finally defeat Little Garden. They save everybody. Brogan Dory does use their move to defeat the fish, and they keep going. And Nami gets sick, and Nami got to go to Drum Island. Now, Drum Island for me is probably one of my favorite arcs, and I vividly remember the 4Kids version a lot because it was good music. good writing. We can't afford kids, and it's really a solid arc. I love Drum Island. I love the introduction of Chopper. They use Chopper, and it's a very sad arc as well. The show does a good job with it. They do a really good job when it comes to using Chopper and introducing Chopper and all the things with him. Now, Wapple, I was an interesting character. Like, his design kind of threw me off a few times, and made the way to how his jaw opened up, but it was really weird how they did Wapple. And Nico Robin's the one who gives Wapple his devil fruit in this series. So Wapple gets the devil fruit. He's in it helping Baroque Works, and comes back to Drum Island, trying to take over Drum Island again. And I'm getting Luffy real quick. Come back with me. They're trying to take over Drum Island again, and when they take over Drum Island, of course, Dr. Quahao and Chopper take over the castle, and they are in the castle, and they get the fight. So the one thing they didn't do in the live action, did in the manga, was the Chop Chop Factory, which they do in a sense, but it's more on the crew of Wapple, which they made like like zombie-esque monsters that Zoro and Usopp actually fighting off, which is cool. And also, Vivi's actually in the castle, and she helps Luffy fights Wapple. And this is a scene that was different because Luffy fights Wapple by himself in the manga. He takes him on by himself, defeats him. Well, in the live action here, Luffy has help from Sanji, and he has help from Vivi, and they kind of wrap it around because Sanji couldn't help Luffy when he fought Captain Smoker in episode 1, and Sanji's like, I'm not letting him lose again. I'm gonna be here with him. So Sanji end up helping Luffy with a combination attack, and they defeat Wapple. Now, because of this, there's a bunch more cheesy stuff in this. Like, Wapple has a cannon with his Chop Chop cannon, and he's about to try to blow Luffy's head off. Vivi comes in like, I think it's time for you to shut the hell up.
It's time you shut the hell up.
Like, she says that line, and I'm like, oh gosh. And the word oh shit. They say oh shit like 5 times within the same episode. And the first time I was like, okay, it's fine. Second time, like, oh, all right, no, cool. Third time, like, all right, guys, we get it. You don't have to keep repeating it. Fourth time, like, what are we doing here? Why do we keep repeating the same words over and over again? I can't stand it. Same thing with the warehouse scream. I talked about this before. You repeating the same thing over and over again irks my loving soul to high heaven. And I'm like, okay, guys, the first time makes sense. Chopper's a kid. He's learning how to cuss. Fun. By the time you get 4 times, when you have Nami and Sanji doing, come on, guys. Come on. Now, I would say this, Sanji does have a deep moment in this. When you talk about his mom and talk about why he's taking to cook and why he's taking care of Nami. Like, he just like, hey man, it's what you do. And he's getting really deep with Nami about that. Which I thought was a really cool thing because they're friends. And the Sanji in this season is actually, like, in this story, is actually really good. He's not a creep. He's not like a lady crazy like he is in the manga. He's just a cool dude who appreciates women's, and he appreciates cooking, and he want to make everybody happy, whether they're friends or not. He just want to make people happy and make sure they're fed. Like, cool, good guy Sanji. And he talked about his appreciation of women really comes from his mom, and in fact, his mom was the nicest person to him. Like, good job, Sanji. And I like how they portray Sanji's character. Like, I think that's a really great way of doing Sanji. Like, this is great stuff. And Sanji and Chopper are the one who take out Wapple's, like, lieutenants. They the ones who fight Wapple's lieutenants. I don't think of their name. Dalton gets a lot in this. By the way, Dalton gets more action in this season. And also Zoro and Usopp get more action at Drum Island. When the manga, they don't really get much there. Like, they're kind of like sidelined. Like, they fight a little bit of Wapple people, but they're more sidelined. And in this, they get a lot more action. They do a lot more work, which is great. And I love that. So, great work. I think those changes are great. And the infamous Luffy holding the pirate flag up, Chopper's flag, thought was fine. They didn't do it the same way they did in the manga, which I get it. It's a lot more expensive trying to fight outside. Weather doesn't work with you. Just do it inside. You don't have to worry about the weather. Don't worry about making snow and do the CGI of the snow. Just do it inside. And also Oda worked on this. Oda worked and gave, like, he definitely gave bits and pieces and edits and tips and was like, hey, you should do it this way. So it's being retold from a viewpoint of Oda as well. And I think that's phenomenal. So I think that's great. I thought it was great. Luffy, what are you doing? Why we, huh? Yes. Uh-huh. You're breathing the camera? But wrapping it up here, thought it was great. Thought it was great. All right, grading time. So we're gonna go ahead and grade One Piece Season 2, the live action. We're gonna give this a B+, an 89%. It gives 89% for me because the fact that, like, hey, the character work is really good. The writing is really good. Yes, they changed a few things up from the manga, which I'm curious to see how they play out in the future. Like Usopp's storyline changing. He's being more like, all right, I'm gonna be more vocal, be more brave. Curious to see how that works out. They changed a few things with Bartholomew appearing in season 1 or season 2 when he wasn't there in the manga. Also, they added a few things for Captain Smoker part as well. Like he fights Mr. 11 and he fights and Tashigi fights Miss Thursday. Like they have that fight in this manga and this season. And I thought it was cool. They got something else to do. Also adding the Zoro and Usopp fight in the Drum Island, give them something else to do. I thought was great as well because that's something they didn't have in the manga. It was just more like they were sidelined. So cool that they got more parts. Also, they're not fighting inside they're fighting inside the castle versus fighting outside the castle in the manga. They're fighting in the castle in live action. Probably had to do with like budget and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it got its point across. So even though it's little changes, they did what they needed to do, and I'm curious to see how it moves forward in the future because I don't know if you get 13 seasons out of this. I don't know you get 12 seasons or 15 or 20 seasons and you get to the time skip. I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't know when they get to season 4 how they're going to do post Alabasta. Like, are they going to do Skypiea, or they're gonna go straight to Water 7? I do not know. Like the Davy back fights, will that happen? I am so curious to see how this works out in the future that I'm excited. So yes, I give this at 89%. If you've seen One Piece, the Netflix version, season 2, the live action, what do you think? Please put in the comment section below. Other than that, see you guys next episode of Ollie Reviews, and keep being awesome. See you guys later. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I genuinely appreciate it. Thank you so much for sticking to the end of the video. I appreciate that too. Please like, share, subscribe, and let your friends and family know about this series. Also, you can watch more episodes here and on Patreon, Patreon/Ali Zakka. For $2 a month, you get to watch new episodes of Ali Reviews and Ali Plays before they come out on YouTube. Other than that, see you guys next episode and keep being awesome.